This week in games, let's talk about the Xbox Partner Preview Showcase, studios getting shut down, and is the Black Flag remake going to be at the Game Awards? This is the Two Penny Gamescast. To the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 276. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Beautiful morning, beautiful afternoon, beautiful night.
Like
whichever you're
Jim Carrey and Truman Show. Look at you.
Never seen that movie.
Oh, it's quite good.
I want to see it. It's why it's on my list.
It's quite good. One of his best for sure. Yeah, but real good. I miss like early Jim Carrey when like he wasn't like just being a cartoon character 100% of the time.
I mean, honestly, now that's like early Jim Carrey is when he was doing that. It seems like he went through the like his film arc and then he just kind of backed out of public life. Because have you seen him talk now? Like not in the movies. Like Sonic's an exception. If you see him in interviews, he showed up at a fashion show and it was a surprise that he was there. And the interviewer asked him like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he thought he said something along the lines of, "I came here to see like something that doesn't matter," or something like that. And he was just like, "That doesn't matter, right?" And just like made the interviewer get fumbled. And he's talking about like the fruitfulness of the futile nature of like fashion shows and things like it. Like it was a very weird but funny interview, but not in a way that he was intending to be wacky and funny. He also made he was also in Sunshine. What was that movie? Sunshine of the Eternal Mind, Spotless Mind.
Spotless Mind.
Spotless Mind. Yeah.
Spotless Mind. Yeah. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've heard that's like top tier movie. So who knows?
Can you relax?
No.
Why, you were chill for a cool while. Why, now that we have the camera rolling, why are you... I'm talking to my dog audio listeners. Mm-hmm. Why are you, like, flipping out now? She goes, "I have this new toy, Daddy, and it's empty, and so now I can throw it around like a rag." Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Two Penny Gamescast, where each week me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, two pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can watch the show be recorded every week live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, or watch it, if you can't watch us live, watch us over at youtube.com/@2pennygames or mainstream podcast services of your choice, Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time when they get uploaded. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, subscribe so you can keep up with all the nerdy news, and drop a comment down below so that we can talk about your 2 cents and add an audience 2 pennies into it. I want to start this week off with, this is Sakataru 3 Music 486 on our Game Awards 2025 nominations reaction video says, "Dispatch is not a better game than KCD2, and that is a crazy call. I really don't get the hype about the game. It wasn't that deep. It was a fun game, no disrespect to the fans and the game, but I think we should objectively agree that this year had better games and all Game of the Year nominees deserve their place." Well, I agree with the last sentiment. All Game of the Year nominees do deserve their place. Everything was hard fought and won. This was a very highly competitive year with lots of high quality games. So I'm very happy with the collection of games right here. I'll remind you, none of us predicted Dispatch to be in the top 6 for Game of the Year. Like, not a single one of us. The only conversation was between KCD2 or Ghost of Yotei. And I leaned Ghost of Yotei because it's a more accessible game. It's a more popular franchise. And it was a more recent title that like got a huge marketing push. KCD2, by all accounts, I haven't played it. Connor, you have. I have. By all accounts, KCD2 is also a phenomenal game that did have quite a bit of a moment early on in the year. I just thought, by the nature of the game, it's less accessible than something like Ghost of Yotei, and it's way nerdier. And oftentimes with the Game Awards, the like super nerdy pick doesn't get nominated like it probably should. You know, I think of like a Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was clearly a top 3 contender in 2019, didn't get nominated just because that's kind of how the Game Awards work sometimes. And while yes, KCD2 was quite popular and blew their expectations out of the water, I don't think like there was a lot of other games that were way more popular. And by like it looks like Dispatch is going to end up becoming a more widely known game than KCD 2 is what it looks like right now. It's hard to say. We're still in the thick of it. And also, no, I don't think anybody was saying Dispatch was better than KCD 2.
That's my issue, because I, having played both of them, would definitely, spoiler alert for our top 10 games, put it above Dispatch. But beyond that, I was like, Tavin and Phil, who also were there, was Phil? Yeah. I was like, who said that? I can't really think. No one said that.
I mean,
I think
we mentioned Dispatch as a possibility, but we outright said, Phil brought it up first. We outright said, hey, it's likely not going to get nominated for Game of the Year. We expected not to get any nominations at all, just because of its release schedule bumping up against the deadline for the Game Awards. And
yeah, I was genuinely surprised that it even got a nomination at all.
Right. Yeah. So like, I appreciate your comment, and I respect your passion for KCD2. I just don't understand the comparison to Dispatch. Now, I will also come to the defense of Dispatch. It's an excellent game. I can understand if you're not into a game that is more narrative focused and based on
gameplay,
dialogue choices, and narrative choices as opposed to like having combat. But it was still a really good game with a really well written narrative and phenomenal performances. You know what I mean? So like, it's up there. You know, I personally wasn't putting it in that talk, so I don't know where you get that from. But respect, I appreciate you jumping in on that one. Next, I want to jump to Stinky Boy Yo-Yo Y on GTA 6 dev update, Steam Machine, and TGA nominations, the Two Penny Gamescast of last week, who said, Tavin's villain speech after Connor's rage baiting is the reason I come here for my gaming news first. LMAO. Great vid, guys. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I've seen you in the comments a couple of times, and I just wanted to give you a shout out. Thanks for sticking around for us. Thanks for interacting with the content. We really appreciate it, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Everybody, I hope you also like and subscribe, and so you can see what all the hubbub is about, because I promise you, we do some good stuff over here, and yeah, we're excited to keep doing it. We're hopefully gonna always remain independent. Gonna stay true, integrity, chase what it means to be video games. And my main purpose with Two Penny Games as a brand has always been to elevate the conversation around video games. That's always been my MO here. Is I think video game commentary, how we talk about games, is very rudimentary and repetitive, and I don't think we go as deep into the medium as I feel like we should. I think this is exemplified by the most recent Penny Drop video essay, where I talk about how the fourth wall works in video games. Please go check out that video. That video I'm very, very proud of, and I think it's quite good, and I think it's a good example of what I mean of elevating the conversation around games. So wanted to give
always, I said in the piggy bank how Tavin. Did I say that? I don't think I said that there. Well, you know what? I'll stop, because maybe it wasn't said live. And, the melding of reality and fiction needs to be separated.
The melding of reality and fiction needs to be separated.
It's like when you put a camera on something, it becomes fake. Because it's like you're not actually tangibly seeing that. It can be, especially with AI, how do you know what you see is real?
Where are you coming from? Where are you right now? I don't like. What did that have to do with what we were talking about? Like,
the thing is, I was telling because I pivoted from insulting you to trying to make meta commentary, and you can't really do that. I found out now. My point is I don't want to know what meta comment I was trying to make, so I just kind of ran with it.
I don't know what comment you're trying to make, right? Anyway,
I said it failed. It failed. Take every shot and you'll miss most of them, but you'll hit some.
Yeah, sure. That's the turn of phrase there, Connor. Connor, we're gonna move on to our first topic of the day. This is gonna be my first penny of the day. The Xbox Partner Preview Showcase happened this week. This was another Xbox little showcase focusing on their third-party partners, and it was highlighted saying, "Hey, we are gonna show off some 007 First Light stuff." And I guess you could say they did that. But, of course, Xbox Partner Preview is about 30 minutes in length. I'm going to go first. I thought this was okay. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fine. I was expecting... what I wanted is something to be, like, shocking to... Or, like, I just wanted to pull one or two games that I could be like, oh, I'm really excited for these things. And I guess at the end of the day, I did pull those things. But, like... I was just waiting for something to wow me, and I don't know if I was ever wowed. You know, like I wanted it to be like, oh, this was cool, and I think I just went away with neat. I guess, sure. You know, like I thought it was fine, but I do like how it was presented. I like the pace of it. We didn't stay too long on one thing or another. I also like this thing that Xbox does with some of their showcases is where they come in like every like 5-10 minutes or so and be like, hey, this is what you've been watching for the last 5-10 minutes. Just, you know, quick reminder, quick little update. You just saw these last 3-4 games, so, you know, check that out. But Connor, what did you think of the Xbox partner preview?
Well, Tavin, I'll have to cite a media figure I love, Asmongold, who said this showcase was great because there was no woke games. And I'm satisfied to say there are no woke games. I looked at it. There's none of these are woke. And that's very nice.
Most of these showcases don't have woke games in them, but, you know, nobody knows what that means anymore.
Well, jokes aside, I thought this was great. I liked it more than you did, mainly because when I knew it was happening, I kind of just waved it aside. I was like, okay, games that don't have like a lot of character to them, games that are going to come out and no one's going to really take note of them, because there was no hype. There's no lead up to this. It just kind of happened one day. I only knew it was happening, to be quite honest, because you were yelling in the other room about something cool that was being shown, and then you came afterwards and were like, there's this Xbox showcase and it was great. But
Not
that
exactly
being
what I
said,
was saying, but okay.
well, I mean, I think you said it at the time, because you came in higher than you came in here now, just right off the back of watching it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. I just had, like a lot of people, no expectations coming in, and it did keep my attention the entire time. I never had a game pop up except for the Dave the Diver part, because that's DLC for a game I hadn't played, and going on to the Xbox platform. We'll talk about that a bit later, and the 007 stuff. Those things kind of just, you know, my eyes kind of glazed over, but everything else was very quality, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Indeed. So we're going to get into it here. We're going to talk about a bunch of games here. We're going to move through quite a few of them pretty fast, so stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. Armistice is a game that they opened up with. This is a third-person roguelike shooter from the Godfall developer, Counterplay Games. And, of course, we're pulling the breakdown from GameSpot.com. And Armistice will launch in 2026 for PC, Xbox Series X and S. It will also be a day one release via Xbox Game Pass. This looked neat. It looked neat.
It did.
I thought combat looked fun enough. It was a little hack and slashy for my tastes. It didn't look like, to my memory, the combat didn't look super impactful alongside the hack and slash. But I think it looks like a quality game, good game design, and you know. Oh, this is one where he also pulls out like a gun halfway through, right?
No, he overwhelmingly uses a gun. He pulls out melee every now and then. That's why it's these kinds of games, shooters. You know, it looks flashy, it looks nice, but the gunplay is what really matters. And seeing how much they go into melee, because there was a lot of moments, and they did look cool, but definitely shooting is the main method in how you fight enemies. And I was seeing cool things like you were shooting guns that had like the pathing of it would change to weird different angles and hit enemies I wouldn't think it would hit, or I don't know if that's its own special kind of mechanic. It doesn't give away too much about how its game really works. It just shows a lot of flash. So, it's kind of one of those games that when it comes out, hopefully it's got some good systems in it and that it feels like shoot well. But I thought that was an interesting.
Say that again
game.
One more time because you got cut off.
I hope this game has interesting mechanics, interesting ways to approach combat, and gunplay that feels good. Because we haven't really seen exactly in-depth looks at this game. That's kind of, I guess, the thing about the showcase. There's a lot of games that look very flashy, but it's kind of hard because of the way it's presented to know if that's going to translate into the actual feel of the gameplay.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm dealing with a back-end issue that Phil has brought to my attention, which is frustrating. Moving on. The Mound Omen of Cthulhu, out in Q2 2026 for Xbox X/S. Follows a group of explorers who land on a mysterious coastline that is shrouded by dangerous jungles and supernatural forces. The new trailer showed off more of the co-op horror that players can expect and how they'll need to work together to survive the horrors and claim buried treasure. This one looked decent. Co-op horror stuff is always really, really tricky to pull off, and very rarely is done well. And this one, I think, has the chance of doing it. But of course, just having that second player in there really has the possibility of taking the threat out of the air. So hopefully they'll be able to pull that off. I think it looks neat, and so I'll keep an open eye on that. Something that has to be done with this, with whenever we do these showcase breakdowns or previews or anything like that, is I'll look at a game and be like, oh, that's dope, I really want to play it. And then like it'll just like miss my radar when it launches and so forth, and I'll never get around to it, or it launches in a time where I'm playing something else and I just never get. So I always have the best intentions of playing these games when I say I do, but I just may not, for a million reasons.
In this, I've been looking forward to this game because it has the Cthulhu aspects, which I enjoy. We did see a trailer for this beforehand. This is not the first time this game is premiered. And yeah, as you say, Tavin, it really just depends how they work with those elements of making it to where having an ally, having a friend could work against you by you accidentally shooting them with a musket. And I want to see how else that can
also
develop.
just like us bullshitting in a Discord chat,
exactly.
You're not immersed as well as you maybe would want to be. You know what I'm saying? But
that is
you
true.
never know until you get hands on. And then of course, I guess like just player interaction matters so much there. Dave the Diver in the Jungle DLC. Dave the Diver is finally coming to Xbox Series X and S for the first time. It is out right now. It launched the same day. So you can go play Dave the Diver on your Xbox if you haven't yet. Didn't know it wasn't on Xbox, which is kind of funny. And then, of course, in 2026, we're going to get the In the Jungle DLC. Not a whole lot to say about that one.
No.
It's more tropical. You're going to fight a crocodile. Cool. Crowsworn, a stylus Metroidvania set inside of a dark world inhabited by men and monsters. New trailer for Crowsworn showed off more of the game in action. There was also a closer look at the secrets lurking within the shadows of Firendal, the advanced tactics players can use while in combat, and how loadouts can be enhanced. It doesn't have a firm release date yet, but will be day one release through Xbox Game Pass when it launches for PC and Xbox Series X and S. We've seen this before. Always looks neat, always looks cool. I just kind of feel like it might be missing some of that sauce in game feel, like how it feels. Really? It looks like it doesn't feel like how we want it to feel. You know what I mean? But it's very Hollow Knight-y, so I could just be wrong, because I also think Hollow Knight doesn't look how I want it to feel. But then I get my hands on sticks, and I'm like, oh no, this feels right. So.
And that's what I'm thinking, because this game, I literally, when it first popped up, because I had forgotten about it, thought it was a DLC for Hollow Knight, and I was kind of like, really, already?
You got one?
Yeah, I was like, okay. But yeah, no, I think that one looked cool as well. Again, this is kind of the consistent theme of, at least it keeps your attention, even if necessarily it's not blowing you out of the water, which
really?
kind of ideally what these things do.
Connor, do you feel that way about Echo Generation 2, a sequel to Echo Generation that's been announced? You can expect a combo of turn-based combat, supernatural environments, and cosmic horrors to take down. This game even includes a Gremlins-esque sidekick, and it'll launch for PC and Xbox X/S.
Yeah, I thought that looked great as well. I didn't know there was a first one, and that one's rated well. So if they're making a second one, all more power to them. Maybe it'll be even better.
This one personally did not impress. It just didn't look interesting to me. I don't have any deep insight into why or how. I was just, this one felt like, oh, yeah, that's a game.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why. Because the thing is, whenever I watch these showcases, and even though I'm positive on this one, when it actually comes time to buy the game, the question is, am I? And likely not. But
well, that's because
you never know.
A cheap fuck.
Well, that's partially yes, but it's also okay. Now you know that's bullshit.
And I hear you want AI in games.
Here we go. Okay, now I know. Well, the moment you said that, I knew you were bullshitting.
Also,
you got me, Tavin.
Also,
you did.
Connor, pull the collar of your shirt. Swastika tattoo right there. You know what I mean? Vampire crawlers. What?
Needs to be public. That needs to be a bit.
What is?
You need to say something like that, Connor. Yeah, next time, like after everyone forgets this episode or the people, we get a larger audience, do that joke. And tell me beforehand so I can get one. Like a fake one.
No.
A fake one. And then it's like, holy shit, he's right. He's not joking.
Now we're going too far. Vampire Crawlers. This is a spin-off from Vampire Survivors from the same studio. It's a mashup of several genres. First-person deck building, roguelike dungeon crawler is a mouthful, and it builds on just one more round energy of Vampire Survivors. There will be another Game Pass Ultimate release when it eventually launches for PC and Xbox Series X/S. I was a big fan of Vampire Survivors. Put a bunch of hours into it on the phone and a little bit on PS5. It's a really, really good game. Sure, I'm in. Just to see what you're doing next. This looks fun and like quirky and creative, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. we're using a lot of the same like mechanics and ideas, but we're flipping them on their head by turning it into a turn-based deck building game. Neat. Very like I just see chains of memories everywhere now. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's the standard for so many of these games that came afterwards.
And now, Connor, the reason we were here, the reason it was advertised. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I did find the beginning part funny, making it seem like it was gonna elevate it to become higher definition, more 3D.
Oh,
and then it just
yeah, that it was
goes
going
back to
3D.
the 2D.
No,
we don't do that here.
We're gonna do a left turn. I like it. It was a smart move. 007 First Light showed off James Bond's car. And that's it.
Is this why people clued in? Because we saw a whole bunch of gameplay.
It's not why people cued in, but like it was advertised as like a hey, we're showing something new from 007. And I guess you're right. I guess you did technically show something new, but
it did.
That's not what we were talking about, and you know it. So the car is in the game, guys.
Yep.
007
a
has
certain
a car.
kind of car.
Neat. Roadside Research is one of those like quirky little fun simulator games, but you are an alien serving people in a gas station, and you're preparing for the invasion. Kind of like a cute little quirky thing. I'm sure the streaming community is going to go crazy with it. There's going to be a bunch of crazy, wacky clips coming from this game.
You would think that seems what they're going for. Will it actually be the case? Because that online games, you have to like have it happen naturally in a way. You can't really control it, even if you try to make it be in that space.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
This was clearly being in.
I'm sure people will figure it out.
Hope so.
I'm sure it'll play. Total Chaos. Turbo Overkill creator Sam Preble has a new game out today. You can play it now. Apparently, I didn't know that part.
Oh, really?
Total Chaos, a first-person survival horror adventure full of monsters for you to avoid, kill, or scream at. And the catch here is that players will have to scavenge for materials to craft makeshift weapons. You can grab it on an Xbox X, S, and PC. It's also available through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Looked neat. I like whenever you make something real big, and it like already looks kind of creepy and horrifying. When you make it big, it's just so much more creepy and horrifying. I'm like, So you can see it on screen right here. That picture of the this like just giant bald person, kind of like crying in the fetal position to themselves. It's really big and kind of weird looking. So it looked neat. Terrible name.
Yeah. I was just looking at some of the reviews. Seems like it's a fine game.
Yeah.
From how people are talking about it.
That's how I felt about a lot of the games shown here. These are fine games. Reanimal, a co-op horror game from the creator of Little Nightmares. Reanimal will see you play as a brother and sister on mission to rescue their missing friends and escape their nightmarish home. Out in February 2026, a demo is available to play now. Now, Reanimal does have some hype behind it. These are the original developers and creators of the Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 specifically, which I think coming now after Little Nightmares 3 has kind of come and went and did not seem to satisfy. Really smart move to get out as quickly as you can there. I think February is a solid time right now as we all, sort of figure out what we're doing for the first half of the year now that GTA 6 has delayed to the second half of the year. So, Erosion. This is my game of the showcase here, personally. Erosion showed off an interesting gameplay mechanic for the isometric action game. It's a twin stick shooter. It's like a Western twin stick shooter here. Whenever you die within its Western themed voxel world, you'll respawn 10 years later in a land that has changed with the passage of time. Other characters have gotten older as well, adding a sense of urgency to your mission. Erosion will launch for PC and Xbox Series X/S in Q1 via the Xbox Game Preview program. Now, they kind of exemplified this time-changing mechanic with the whole point of the game. The whole mission of the game is to save your daughter, who gets kidnapped as a baby, and then they show in a montage a series of cuts of you saving her at different points in her life, as a baby, as a young girl, as like a teenager, as a grown woman, and then as like an old lady on her deathbed. And I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool and creative. It started off as a trailer that at first I was like, okay, yeah, cool. But then, like, as it kept going, I was like, no, you've sold me on this. This looks dope. So yeah,
it's got so much cool style.
Color me quite interested in Erosion, and also the choice to go voxel with it. Not something you see all the time.
See, my issue with these kinds of games, and this is a very, very personal one, is I never can find as much enjoyment out of a game that puts it. This is slightly different in the term. It's not like an outright time. You're not on a schedule to achieve your mission, but if you don't do it properly, you can get like a unsatisfactory end. The key one I think of is Majora's Mask, where of course you're trying to, you're on its clock every single time to prevent the moon from crashing into the land, and just games that seem to put like a time restraint on me, even if it's just how many times I die rather than an actual physical one. I don't know. I never can enjoy them as much.
Just get good, Connor.
It's not about getting good, Tavin. The game looks good. The game plays good.
And I mean, the way it's shown, it's like clearly this is meant to be like highly replayable.
That's true. Yeah.
So you'll get better and you'll get the better ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is you I mean,
also
I might play it.
Good, you
Let
fucking loser. You suck, dude. You're trash.
It's not a matter of skill. It's a matter of pressure, a force of pressure pushing behind me forward. I don't like that. I like to take my time.
Zoopunk is a new game from Fist forged in Shadow Torch developer TI Games. Set in the same universe as the previous game, players will take control of a ragtag group of skyfaring, weapon-wielding, anthropomorphic animals as they hunt down the Spark, an enigmatic MacGuffin that a rival group has captured. Zoopunk will launch for PC and Xbox Series X and S in 2027. And of course, I remember Fist. I remember when it came out, and it got all right reviews. It was okay, and so now they're going like 3D action with it, which is an interesting call. I like the world. I like the tone. I like sort of like the concept of this game. So that might be enough to carry me there. The gameplay didn't look that great. Like it was a little stiff in the action gameplay. Again, impact did not seem to be there for me. And it just didn't look like that great of a game. But it's such a fun concept that I was like, all right, well, let's keep an eye on it just to see what happens with it.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be pretty high on this one. It's from my perspective, it's been one of the more talked about games.
I think it's just
from the showcase.
The memification of it.
True. I mean, you are right though. It just looked a little bit janky in areas, but it all matters when you get your hands on the game because, like, Clear Obscure Expedition 33 has jank to it, especially now that I'm playing through it, and it's pretty minuscule, insignificant in the grand scheme of things. So maybe this could be the same.
I'm curious to hear what you mean by jank by it, but we'll find out that out on a piggy bank or something someday. Clover Pit.
Gameplay.
Can the roguelite genre be successful? Applied to slot machines. Hundreds of thousands of Clover Pit's PC players would answer you with a resounding yes. And if you haven't checked the game out yet, you can grab it right now on Xbox X and S consoles. Clover Pit is now available through the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Premium, and the game puts you in a high-risk situation where you're forced to gamble for your life from inside of a dingy cell. I'm not overly familiar with this game. I know it's like circulated. I know I've seen it before, but I'm not overly familiar. And I know it's been out for a minute. It's just coming to Xbox here. That's the news. Neat. Cool. Exciting. For those who care. Hitman World of Assassination. Eminem is in the game. You can hunt down his alter ego, Slim Shady. Eminem has hired you to hunt down his alter ego, Slim Shady. And you're going to be able to kill him in a bunch of different ways and so forth. And I'm sure, IO Interactive is great. So I'm sure they've put like, Eminem-based Easter eggs in it. Like, you could probably drown him in spaghetti sauce or something. I don't know.
Looks fun. Of course, a lot of stuff Hitman does looks fun, but never really played it. I've never played it.
Put him in the trunk of a car and drive him off a bridge. Mm-hmm. And you'll get the stand bonus or something. I'm sure something like that will happen. I don't need Eminem in anything. Can I just say that? Can we as a culture move past Eminem, please? Can we please move
if
past
Snoop Dogg can be in things, so can Eminem. At least it's not an AI game where you're overseen by Snoop Dogg in a courtroom. You could get that if you're getting Slim Shady stuff.
Eminem's just as guilty. Eminem was doing the NFT thing also, So they're both cringe with it. You know what I mean?
At least with NFTs, they failed, and so he probably lost money on that and was punished for it.
I think he lost like $10,000 or some shit like
that. See, there you go.
Tides of Annihilation. This was it wasn't the last one, but it should have been. Tides of Annihilation. This was a gameplay demo that they showed off. I think they also advertised this preview showcase with showing off this as well. Showed a new gameplay trailer. Showed off an entire boss fight from start to finish. They edited it down to like the best parts, and you can see the full gameplay demo on Xbox Wire or the website. Tides of Annihilation doesn't have a release date yet. Coming to PC, Xbox Series, consoles, and PS5. Looked cool. Look very flashy. Very cinematic. Lots of like cool visual effects and stuff going on. very like reminded me a lot of like Final Fantasy 16 in a lot of ways. So if you liked that, you might want to keep an eye out for this one. And at the same time, like I think it also like looked a little more interesting from the gameplay perspective for me, just a little bit though, not a lot. But I also don't need Final Fantasy 16 to do more. I just need it to do a little bit more, and I would probably like it. But it just does so little, you know. And I'm like, eh. So this one looked to do that little bit more that I'm looking for, but I could be wrong. I don't know until the hands are on sticks or until the verdict is out. But it had a lot of cool effects. It just narratively needs to hit, and I think you've got something here.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that combat system feels and works. Overall, this is every single time I see it, I get the same thought, which is either this is going to be like a very nice game that has more flash than substance, but at the very least, it still is a good quality game, or it's going to be like one of the best games of next year.
Raji Kaliuga, a brand new sequel to Raji, an ancient epic, was announced, and it'll be another day one launch via Xbox Game Pass for PC and Xbox X/S. Set 6 years after the first game, it expands on the struggles between gods, asuras, and mythical forces. Players will take on the roles of Raji and her younger brother Darsh, with gameplay shifting from isometric adventure to a third-person action game for the sequel. I'm not familiar with the first game, and I don't think this is an IP that you should have ended your show with. But you know, neat and looks pretty. I can say that much. But there's not a lot to go off of this trailer. So I feel like if you had just switched this in Tides of Annihilation, you would have had a pretty banger ending of like oh cool, that looks like an interesting little strange game that I'm interested in, and then finished off with the big banger of Tides of Annihilation, and been like, oh okay, all right, solid. But yeah, placing that in that order was a strange call.
Yeah, much would have preferred that. Just makes sense. Surprised they didn't do that.
But overall, fine. Got more interesting games to put on your radar and keep looking out for. And so I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that you take a couple notes, watch the preview yourself, see if any of it interests you. But until then, let's move on to our next topic of the day. Connor, this is going to be your first topic. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, you can actually read the news article that we are reading from, because Connor himself wrote it this week over on our Substack, TwoPennyGames news.substack.com. A link is in the description down below if you want to read along or just read the article yourself. Make sure you go and check all of that out. Connor, take it away.
I will do that. Xbox to potentially increase console prices as OpenAI expands. 5 months after Microsoft increased the price of its current generation console, the Xbox Series X/S, another price increase appears to be on the horizon. Gaming insider Moore's Law is Dead reports that the rising cost of DRAM, an important component of Xbox consoles, may push the company to up the price by an undetermined amount. Quote, if you still want an Xbox for some reason at their current pricing, those prices could go up soon, or supply could just entirely dry up, said host Tom, last name unknown. I tried to find that. I didn't know. This guy's a coward. He's a coward. He only put his first name out there. He's a coward. Because multiple sources of mine have apparently been warned by sales reps at Microsoft that this is going to affect the Xbox Series consoles very, very soon, sooner rather than later, end quote. DRAM, shorthand for dynamic random access memory, is the most common form of RAM, which is memory, found in computers that is also used for current Xbox and PlayStation consoles, in addition to smartphones and certain medical equipment. 2 of the 3 major manufacturers for RAM are Samsung and SK Hynix, who in October entered into a partnership with OpenAI as part of its Stargate initiative that seeks to expand its AI infrastructure as data centers heavily rely on DRAM to function. Quote, these partnerships will focus on increasing the supply of advanced memory chips essential for next-generation AI and expanding data centers' capacity in Korea, positioning Samsung and SK as key contributors to global AI infrastructure and supporting Korea's ambition to become a top 3 global AI nation, reads OpenAI's partnership announcement. Through these partnerships, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix plan to scale up production of advanced memory chips targeting 900,000 DRAM wafer starts per month at an accelerated capacity rollout, critical for powering OpenAI's advanced AI models, end quote. China Times News Network reports that according to data from TrendForce, DRAM contract prices have increased by 171.8% year on year, quote, year on year, end quote, while Reuters says Samsung has raised memory chip prices from 30% to 60%. Speaking to Yahoo Finance, Group Vice President for the International Data Corporation's IDC Worldwide Device Tracker, Ryan Reith acknowledges, quote, it's not going to be good for consumers, end quote. Although global prices for the Xbox Series X and S increased by $100 and $80 respectively in May, September saw a rise in costs solely in the U.S. for a variety of Xbox consoles in the wake of U.S. President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policy. Moore's Law is dead exempts PlayStation from the DRAM shortage issue, as Sony apparently saw the writing on the wall and prepped in advance. Quote, believe it or not, PlayStation, from what I've heard, Sony planned ahead, bought up gobs of RAM near the bottom of the pricing, and thus they should be buying for months. They have plenty of GDR6, at least that's what I'm told, end quote. Caveat, me and Tavin are not tech-savvy people, at least not tech-savvy as it relates to this kind of stuff. So certain intricacies of this might go over our heads, but the short of it is AI is making DRAM cost more, RAM cost more, which is essential for basically all spheres of the gaming world and beyond. And so this is just another story of how AI is just spelling the doom for a lot of people. Because, I mean, I know we're talking about video games on this channel, but if you're going to be taking important components away from medical devices for AI, for the use of just making your life tad bit easier, that's incredibly, morally corrupt. I mean, it's because these people got to know what they're doing here, that they're going to just make it not only more expensive for consumers, but for people's livelihoods to be severely impacted by this. And I understand there's probably people that would say that AI makes your life easier, so it's kind of a trade-off. The trade-offs are not the same. I can tell you right now, they are not. Not even going into the fact that people's jobs are going to replace.
Exchange here.
It is not. No, it's certainly an equivalent exchange for the people that are going to be making lots of money off of this, aka not most people. But I mean, this is just AI just seems to always be at the forefront of bad stories we talk about here on this show, almost every single week. Even if it's not the main part of it, it's an aspect of it, and it's just getting very, very tiring. And I wonder how quickly this is going to start affecting things, especially because on the PlayStation side, sure, they may have bought up RAM in advance to this happening, but what happens when their supply runs out? They're possibly going to start having to increase prices as well. It's not as if though Sony is exactly on the moral high ground trying to make sure that consumers are paying as little as possible. They're not really any better than a lot of other console makers and a lot of other of the greedy aspects of the game-making industry. This is just a very dour story. Very, very dour.
Yeah, I feel like every other month we come to you with a story from Xbox where they just seem to become more and more of just the used like the slimy used car salesman, and I just like I see the advertisement now of Xbox bursting through the door and going, hey, listen, everybody, we're firing everybody and investing in technology for AI that's going to be really cost expensive, and instead of eating those costs because we still will have record-breaking profits, we're passing all the expenses on to you. And I'm like,
and everyone claps.
Cool, you're an asshole. Like, what are we doing here, man? And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't like talking about the industry this way, but I mean, the facts are the facts here. And I don't believe that this is really a mantra being handed down from Xbox executives, but more of the Microsoft executive side, because this is something that is infecting Microsoft and the tech industry as a whole on all sides, not just gaming. So, like, I believe that this is a Microsoft problem. This is a tech conglomerate problem and a high greed issue, right? So I'm not putting this on... I'm of course not going to push this on any of the Xbox games side focus of it. Those I believe are still good people who are working hard and trying their best to deliver art to the consumer. And I mean, look at this year alone in terms of software releases for Xbox. This is a landmark year for games for Xbox, right? With Doom: The Dark Ages and South of Midnight, and we don't even have to talk about what the Obsidian output, which has been insane this year, with Avowed, Grounded 2, now Outer Worlds 2, all being quality titles. Are any of these, like, obviously not because they didn't get nominated, are any of these like Game of the Year worthy titles? No, but they're like real quality titles that I think are going to end up in a lot of people's top 10s. this year. So it's a lot of really great stuff. And
Well-
in the past, Xbox has given us a lot of high consumer friendly policies that have been great for the consumer. Long term and big picture, we've seen these policies are failing quote unquote failing to produce revenue. And so in that, we've seen massive layoffs or game cancellations and studio shutdowns. Again, I would say that's because we've got billionaires not willing to. Can you not have your junk just presented on camera here? Ahsoka.
You can't see anything.
Ahsoka, put your pussy away, girl.
She's trying she's trying to lay back.
Dude,
Dogs can't lay
she's,
back.
you know she's comfortable because all she did was just like look up at me and she's like, whatever, bro. There. Good girl. Yeah, put your pussy away, bro. Jesus Christ. Anyways. And I've been trying to cut as much slack for Xbox for every time that they've stepped on a rake in the last like 2 years. We're at a point where you just objectively just can't do it anymore. Like you said it, Connor. This is just morally corrupt. Like this is not conscionable.
It's not ethical. I think it's the easier
Sure, we'll
word.
go that way.
Yeah.
Conscionable. Something with conscience.
I'm trying to remember. I know the word. I just can't. I'm not going to trust my mouth to say it.
You know, you guys, you understand?
Conscientious?
Sure. You guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what it is. Conscientious.
And like, I don't think this is like anything like, yeah, the console prices increase suck after you just increased prices again after you just increased prices before that. So like, it's just like, all right, well, where does the buck stop? And let's not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Microsoft can eat these costs and be fine and still be making crazy profit. Every year they talk about their record-breaking profit. We just had it. Xbox just said that they had record-breaking profit with Game Pass this last year. And then they laid everybody off. And then they increased prices.
You're thinking very small because, yes, they're making record-breaking sales and whatnot. But
They could be
what if that
more.
stops? But not even worse than that. What if they make money, but they're not making as much as they want to make?
They're
Companies
never
have
gonna make as
projections,
much as they
Tavin.
want to make on it.
No, you don't know that, Tavin. Projections could be very, very feasible. And they've, jokes aside, a lot of the times when we see any kind of layoff or price raises, they justify it on the financial side of things just because they want to frame it as, well, we needed to do this because it's not good PR to say, we want to make as much money as possible, so we're raising prices for consoles or for video games for our benefit, and we're trying to spin it to you while we're talking to you right now. Like, for example, AI. As it progresses, the more you're going to see, and admittedly cool features integrated into video games. Most recently we had a comment talking about how our creators lets you, they were defending AI, of course, lets you speak in voice chat using a certain voice that you want. I don't know exactly how the mechanics work, but it's things like that maybe enhance your play experience. And I think the company knows that as long as they can continue to do things like that, people will be a lot more satisfied or complacent with the trouble that AI brings. As long as it can give them a little bit of comfort or a little bit of enjoyment, which is basically the majority of what AI already does now, with a very, very few amount of exceptions. And so I'm just waiting for the marketing for AI mechanics to start relatively soon and to grow every single time I see them.
I keep praying, and I know it's not going to be because there's just no way because you can just feel it. Like you can feel it in the air. But I'm praying for like the bottom to fall out of AI like it did for NFTs and stuff. And
yeah.
I know it won't because you can tell from the jump that NFTs were like not going to make it. And it was just a huge scam and con from the beginning. But like AI, it's just like, all right, well, this is something we're just going to have to deal with and figure out and move around.
Certainly to a degree. But the thing is, a lot of people have been warning about an AI bubble because there's so much investment going on into it, but there's not a lot of return profit, at least not as much as there seems to be. So it's similar to NFTs in that way, where a lot of people jumping on the AI bandwagon are doing so just because they see in the moment how it's doing and that it's the future. And so they've invested into it. And I can't think of examples off the top of my head. I should categorize them in my brain so I can bring them up. But
I mean, Connor, you get more profit by eliminating the workforce.
You do, but it's not yet at such a point where you're able to lay off whole swaths of people. It's still in the up and coming stages.
I think the 9,000 people that just got laid off last month would disagree with you.
Yes,
but
well, that's less because AI is replacing their jobs and more like they spent money and they're shoring up the costs of how much they've expanded into AI rather than just outright replacing jobs with that.
I see what you're saying.
Which will come. It's already started, of course, but
when you
I
have,
think we're going to see
when
a
you have
greater
an
wave.
entirely AI built Call of Duty game, I'm sure Microsoft will see the wondrous profits off of that. You know, probably in the next. Honestly, I could see it in the next like 5 years.
Yeah,
that is, you know, maybe even sooner, maybe in 3. So it's all possible.
Yep.
Oh man, it's always so fun to talk about the games industry right now. It's never ever dull or droll or boring. It's always just so fucking wonderful, and we can continue that by moving into our second topic of the day. Connor, your second penny of the day. Take it away, my friend.
It's sad at this point. Stories like this are basically just, what's the term? You just have to, you have to bring it up.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah, whatever the definition of that is, yes. Avalanche Liverpool officially closes due to contraband cancellation. After Microsoft paused development on its mysterious game Contraband in August of this year, developer Avalanche Studios is shuttering their UK office in Liverpool, laying off 31 employees in the process. Quote, as we announced earlier this fall, we initiated a collective consultation process regarding the proposed closure of our Liverpool studio, reads an announcement on Avalanche's website. We can now confirm that this process has concluded, that the studio has closed, and we have parted ways with 31 people. The exceptional talent, passion, and commitment from everyone leaving have impacted every project. We are truly grateful for the dedication and invaluable contributions to Avalanche Studios Group. Our focus remains on supporting the Avalanchers through the transition and to carry on making great games for our player communities, end quote. Avalanche is most well known for its work on the destruction-heavy Just Cause franchise, while Contraband was unveiled in a reveal trailer at E3 2021, being described as a co-op open-world game in the 1970s, though further details weren't elaborated on since the trailer's release. In July, Microsoft announced it would cut 4% of its workforce in a massive round of layoffs, resulting in multiple canceled projects and the closure of Romero Games, an in-house studio The Initiative. The Seattle Times identifies AI as a main reason for the layoffs, despite $26 billion in profit at Microsoft in the months of January to March. The publication points out that due to spending $80 billion in AI infrastructure, the company is seeking to save wherever they can. So the writing was, plastered on the wall that this studio was going to close. You got to have a little bit of hope, especially with how dour things get in this industry these days. But the inevitable happened, and studios of theirs closed, and people lost their jobs. All
this
for
is
a game.
Just one. To be clear, this is just one of their studios, right? Because I'm looking at Avalanche games. Yeah, they've got a series of.
So Avalanche still around.
Yeah,
it's their Liverpool studio. Yeah,
got you. Yes.
Yeah, so
I'm looking at their. You mentioned Just Cause, but also the Mad Max game, Rage 2, and most recently Hogwarts Legacy. So this is still a branch of dev studios that are successful. But it's just we're closing this specific branch in Liverpool.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's the positive part of this story. It's not a whole entire,
I guess.
I mean, the whole studio is getting closed.
When Microsoft just went through and canceled a bunch of their games, we talked about this of dude, you're affecting dev studios out from underneath your own family tree. Some of these games you're canceling, you don't own these studios. So now you're taking foods out of people's mouths that otherwise had nothing to do with you, and you're fucking everything up for everybody else. So people were gonna get laid off outside of that based off of the actions of what Microsoft has been doing over the last couple of months, and it's disgusting, quite frankly, and it just constantly feels like there's nothing we can do about it because I just don't see. I don't see the how, outside of, especially not within this administration, which is so greed and focused on the bourgeoisie of the nation right now. This is, I don't even have the words to describe it. I'm faltering to even have more words for this because we come in and talk about this every fucking week.
We do. And the positive thing isn't really specifically attached to this story, but the fact that this happened in the UK just last week off the news that the Rockstar employees that were laid off were attempting to unionize, specifically in Canada, and the UK. It seems like most of them were in the UK. Have other Rockstar employees signed an open letter supporting them, but more importantly, a lawsuit has been opened up by the union, the IWGB. And so, hey, I guess that's something to look at as maybe some light on the horizon, depending on how that court case goes. If it even progresses much further. And maybe we'll see a lot less of these cases happening, at the very least in the UK. And so keep an eye out for that story. We'll come to you with updates when they happen. You got to focus on the positives.
Speaking of positives, Connor, we've got some rumor mill speculation happening. And finally, we had to talk about something that's like quasi-exciting. Moving on to topic number 4, my second penny of the day. Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake to release before April 2026. Following Ubisoft's suddenly delayed earnings call last week, muttering indicated the gaming giant will soon announce and release a remake of the fan favorite Assassin's Creed Black Flag as Assassin's Creed Shadows overperforms. This executive insight comes from publication Insider Gaming, where after Ubisoft's earning calls, an unannounced game is slated for a release before the end of the company's fiscal year on March 31st, 2026. It's unknown how Insider Gaming was notified, but they understand the mysterious game is the aforementioned Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. On July 1st, 2023, Insider Gaming reported on a slew of Assassin's Creed games baking in the oven, some that have since released, such as Assassin's Creed codename Red, Shadows, and Assassin's Creed Mirage. A year later, the release date was believed to be slated for November of 2025, but that was prior to the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is thought to have resulted in the current timeframe of releasing on the week of March 23rd. In related news, Ubisoft's earnings on Assassin's Creed Shadows have surpassed expectations with the Claws of Awaji expansion. And inclusion of a new Game Plus mode, attributing to the game's continued success. Ubisoft reports it as a whole seen an improvement. Reports it as a, what are you trying to say here?
Ubisoft reports it as a whole has seen
an improvement in its quarterly performance by 39% year to year. It was recently discovered a U.S. Civil War Assassin's Creed game with a former slave as the main character got canceled for, quote, being too political in a country too unstable to make it short. Additionally, the now former franchise director and producer Mark Alexis Cotier has revealed he was pushed out of his role at Ubisoft, contradicting the official reason being that Cotier left of his own accord. Control of the IP transitioned to Charlie Guillemot, son of the Ubisoft president Yves Guillemot, alongside company veteran Christophe Derenay in the leadership role as new subsidiary Vantage Studios. All of that to say, hey, it looks like that Black Flag remake is coming for those who are excited about it. We're also hearing rumors. Also in Ubisoft remake news, the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake is potentially set up for release in January. So a little back-to-back Ubisoft remake action. Kind of funny because Assassin's Creed was birthed from Prince of Persia, so now we're getting remakes of both those franchises coming down the pipeline. Cool, neat. I maybe you can see one, if not both, of these games at the Game Awards coming in just like 2-3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
So cool for those who are into it. I'm sticking to my guns on. I'm just not interested in Ubisoft anything right now. Like after how they fumbled Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, how they have a frat boy toxic work culture with a bunch of racial harassment and sexual harassment invading their studios, and how they just generally mishandle a lot of their IPs and a lot of their games in a way to where I'm just not even interested in the conversation around Ubisoft anymore. Like I do like, we'll plant a flag in this as a win. I do like seeing Assassin's Creed Shadows succeed and how it surpassed expectations. That's fantastic to hear. Huh?
Surprisingly, the way
right?
people talked about that game was that it was a failure.
Right. Yeah, because critically it didn't do that great. It was fine. It was another one.
It did good.
Yeah, and fan reception seemed to be, not so enthusiastic on
Yep.
Shadows. Phil played a little bit of it. He didn't seem to like get like super deep into it. I guess deep enough to have an opinion on it. But I know he never beat it or anything like that. So that is what it is. And I'm cool. I'm glad that, especially with all of the like racist and sexist conversations that was happening from all the grifter accounts. Like Connor, you jokingly brought up Asmongold. He had a whole campaign against Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I was like, dude, you're gross for doing that. So it's kind of nice to see that it's like, oh, okay, no, the game actually outperformed what they were expecting, and I'm sure their expectations were high because this is Assassin's Creed. So yeah, I'm very, very glad to hear that. But in general, I'm not looking. I mean, Black Flag is sure one of the best Assassin's Creeds, but it's not a personal favorite of mine. I am conceptually more interested in a Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, but after that announcement trailer and the heavy development time, complicated development time, I don't know, man. I like just added on to the truckload of shit that Ubisoft has dragged themselves through to get here. I'm cool. I just don't need it. It's one of those things that, like, if you're excited, by all means be excited. If you're going to play it, by all means go play it. I just know too much about Ubisoft to be excited to support it.
Don't worry, Tavin. Maybe they'll get bought up by Saudi Arabia, and then we can make sure they have the financial backing to do what they need to do.
Didn't they
make
said
more
something about, like,
Assassin's Creed.
Tencent just bought some more shares in Ubisoft or something like that?
Probably. Tencent seems to always like Ubisoft.
So,
but we'll see if they actually get owned by them. But yeah,
we're having a good time here at the Two Penny Gamescast talking about video games and the state of the industry as of right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, you can continue having that great time with us here by just liking and subscribing. And, of course, Connor, I didn't even get you to talk. Do you have anything else on that? I'm sorry. I just kind of, like...
No, I mean, like, I was kind of like, this was a you topic more than me topic, Tavin.
Sure.
Did I say that wrong? I feel like the words came out of my mouth very stupidly. Did they?
What,
Don't say as a general thing. Yeah, just now.
No,
not in general. Okay.
No, you're totally...
Yeah, I didn't really... I mean, my only thing is that, like I said before, it's good that Assassin's Creed Shadows did well, because it's just, I don't want people being laid off, even if I don't really care about the game itself. That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just don't lay off more people.
Maybe fix your workforce culture a little bit,
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
But I am also, I'm also like a stick it to the fucking incel grifter crowd. Like, good. Y'all deserve a loss. Y'all deserve more losses. Y'all should lose more.
That is true. You know what? I should have clarified. One of the things that's just like weird, because I mentioned, for those that may have just skipped ahead, I brought up jokingly Asmongold, happy that there was no woke games at Xbox, at the Xbox showcase. But the weird thing about that is it really is fluid how that changes, because Tides of Annihilation could easily be construed as a woke game. People were upset at Ghost of Yote for having a woman in it. So
Tides,
it's really just
Raji,
then.
I'm sure they could make an argument for Zoo or for Zoopunk or something. Like, there's a bunch of games out here that they could be like, oh, this is woke. Echo Generation 2, maybe it looks like colorful enough to be that way. This is just what they do. They just throw they don't even know what the word woke means, Connor. They just throw it around. They throw it out as what is it called? Like a signifier?
Something they don't like.
Just like whistleblowing for just like. Or a dog whistle. That's what I'm thinking for. They just throw woke out as dog whistling so that, all the racists and sexists can come out and dog on a game that, like, has nothing to do with what they're actually talking about. And, most of these people who talk shit on these games like this don't even play games. Like, that's what really pisses me off. I've seen, there's this one guy on Twitter, I forget his name, but he recently did a debate with Colin Moriarty, who just fucking stomped him out. And it was all centered around Ghost of Yote not being successful, XYZ, and just time after time after time, this guy has just been, what's his name? Something JT, Smash JT or some shit like that. I'm talking about some just fucking loser grifter who's just pushing a narrative all the time. Anyways, all that to say, dude didn't play the game, but he's out here hating on it, talking about how it's the worst game ever. You didn't play it. You can't say something is terrible if you haven't played it. You can go
Everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah, everyone's absolutely entitled to their own opinions, but you have to experience the art in order to form an opinion on it. You know what I mean? I'm not out here calling Assassin's Creed Shadows a bad or good game. I didn't play it. You know what I mean? I have an opinion on Ubisoft as a company And that is affecting me on if I'm going to play their games. And I'm choosing no because of how they're doing their business practices. That's a clear line of thought, and it makes sense. Hey, this game sucks. It's got a woman. She's poorly written. How do you know? You didn't play it.
Well, you can't really reason with that group.
You fucking
You
morons.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm coming off as vitriolic as I feel about it. I really hope I do. Because there's not enough people putting these fucking jack-offs in their goddamn place. Go sit in your fucking corner and cry, you miserable fucking waste of skin. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I have to share airwaves with you. And
I guess
it's
I would agree with
fucking
that.
humiliating that a lot of these channels pull a lot of numbers because it's so easy to monetize hate. It's so easy to monetize hate. Connor, you and I have been doing this for a while now. And, we have not made a single dollar off of it. I have supported it with my own money throughout the entire adventure, all right? We don't get a lot of views. We don't get a lot of watch time, all of that shit, all right? Do you know how fucking easy it would be for us to just shift gears and pump up the hate train and circulate into that? Some of our most successful videos are the ones where we're most critical of something. That's
true.
That's not how I like to be on the internet. Now, I would say that in those videos, we were right to be critical of those things, is what I would like to say. That's up to the people to decide that. And if you feel one way or another, that's fine, But in general, we try to get to the heart and we try to elevate the conversation around this because this disgusting fucking routine and cycle of game gets announced. It's got a woman in it. We hate it. Disgusting. Woke. Comes out. Oh, it's so terrible. Oh, wow. It got an 88. It's not a 90 on Metacritic. Clearly a failure.
Game.
What? It sold 1 million copies in 3 days? Why not 2 days? Clearly a failure because it's woke. And you guys just perpetuate this cycle again and again and again about good things. Ghost of Yote selling is a good thing, but you guys are just padding your own pocketbooks and monetizing people's hate because they get stuck in these fucking things. It's a fucking, a right-wing pipeline for a reason. It's a red pill pipeline for a reason. And you manosphere fucks are clearly not getting any goddamn pussy, and you hate yourselves, and you hate women, and you fucking deserve to be alone like you are.
Well, you came across as vitriolic. You succeeded in that, Tavin.
I don't love talking about things like that, but it is what it is. It just irritates the shit out of me when I see them, and it's like 30 fucking videos of all the same shit. Motherfucker, dude, come on, bro. Like, how do you even talk about games in this way? You understand how we've been talking about games this whole episode of how we're we get beat up by talking about this. Like, I feel so depressed. We had an episode 2 weeks ago that was 40 minutes. We tried to keep it to at least an hour. We tried, but we had nothing to say because it was all negative news and it fucking sucks talking about it like that. So we had 40 minutes in us. That's what we had.
It was also a long record day, so things happened. But I get what you're saying.
No, Connor, the long record game, that Gamescast went over an hour. We made that record day longer than it needed to be because we were having a great time.
Well, we got to talk about these things. But yeah, it's easy to hate. It is fun to hate. It's very, very fun to hate. But when it starts impacting the conversation of the games themselves, like a lot of these people, as you're describing, do, it just makes you question about why they even play video games in the first place, or more importantly, why they talk about them.
Yeah.
If, I get it's a sentiment I disagree with. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But it's definitely one that you should consider before you say something to make it, ask yourself, is it worth saying? Am I bringing anything of value to something? Most likely, no. Is that like a subtle
return shot at me for dunking on
No.
motherfuckers? Is that what's happening?
No.
Also,
I said it's fun to hate, and it's kind of good to hate. Sometimes, you have to be selective about it.
Listen, sometimes, but do it in the right way. Talk about the actual art. Go. Listen, if Kingdom Hearts as a franchise has no haters, I'm dead. Okay, I'll own that. I'm a Kingdom Hearts hater. Maybe in ways that I shouldn't be, but I think for the most part that the best of those games are mediocre. And the worst of them are fucking unfinished piles of trash. But at least I'm diving into the work. And I'm going, okay, well, what are they doing here? What is the conversation around here? Kingdom Hearts 1, I think, is a terrible, unfinished game. But I'm diving in and I'm examining it thematically. I'm going, oh, look at these interesting things that they're doing with it, though. These are interesting ideas and concepts that you don't see in other games. Look at this. It does, like, yes, the combat sucks. Yes, the level design is unfinished. Yes, the general game design is flawed. But hey, man, they're doing shit thematically that, like, you just don't see in video games. That's kind of neat, isn't it? Like, root it in something. Don't just be like, woman, bad game. Black person, bad game. You know, like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Hey,
That's so
if you're gonna do that,
surface level and annoying.
It is. At least be witty about it. Like, at least you can say, like, hey, you're saying something evil or something bad, but, you know, at least inject something that's not just pathetic to it.
Or which
is hard to do, but
like, you know. BioShock. I was a hater on BioShock review, but I was engaging with the work. You know, I went into what was BioShock saying, and what did that mean in terms of being a video game. That's what my argument was, right? And then I talked about the gameplay. I played the game. I talked about the gameplay, the loop, how it made me feel, the pros and cons of it all. You know, what worked, what doesn't work, the world design, the narrative design, all of these things. I talked about those. I talked about what's in the game. I didn't talk about what I saw in the announcement trailer of it. And I didn't get hung up on one thing, and because of that one thing, it's bad. If I call the game bad, I've got a plethora of reasons why. You know what I never mentioned in my Star Wars Outlaws review, which I do still say is the worst official TwoPennyGames reviewed game on this channel. I'm not TwoPenny Game Club is not that, right? Not that. I'm talking the ones that came out, we reviewed it, we scored it, right? I think Star Wars Outlaws is the worst of that. You know what I never fucking talked about in that review? The main character being a woman being a bad thing. Never said that. Never said that. I acknowledged that the main character was a woman just because she is. But that's all I went for.
Yeah, that's
if I remember right, I liked that character.
A lot of the people that are complaining about these things, they would identify it as identity politics, and if they're not saying it's just woke and just leaving it at that. But the problem is that by engaging with it that way, you're doing the same thing. You're focusing on the fact that it's a woman and you're making that a major part, where if you talk about something like Star Wars Outlaws or even Ghost of Yotei, it's not really relevant. Like, it's not. The main clip I think about, and I think I brought this up before, if we're staying on this conversation, is it was a streamer's reaction to Ghost of Yotei when you do a feature where you scare the enemies because you have the image of the Onryo, you're a vengeful spirit. And it clearly sets that up.
Or in Tsushima.
Yeah. Exactly. Same exact thing there. It sets it up very clearly of why that mechanic works the way it does. It doesn't even give it to you right out the gate. You have to, get there. And I saw multiple reactions of them taking that saying, you have to earn it, yeah. By playing the game naturally, of course. But when that scene I saw a compilation, not really a compilation. I saw multiple clips of people complaining about it separately. Basically going like, oh boy, guess what this game's trying to say? And like, woman strong, women fear me. And it's like, it's not trying to do that at all. You just interpret it that way because you're so brain dead that's how you think about these things when you see a woman in a video game. It's not what the game's doing. And you're so just delusional that you can't even see past an obvious fact like that.
And it's like, you as the gamer have to earn it. It's a kill streak thing. And if you get hit, you lose that ability. Like, you have to use it like without getting hit, which I think is actually harder to do than Tsushima. In Tsushima, I just remember being a kill counter thing, right? It wasn't a like a don't get hit thing.
Oh, well, it would reset when you would get hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it seemed easier to do than this game did. I did it a lot more in Ghost of Tsushima than Yotei, and I tried.
Yeah. So like it's like you have to earn it thing. And guys, let's be honest. If I see a crazed, enraged woman cut down 6 of my friends, or just people that I knew in front of me, and then turned her eyes on me, I'd be fucking scared, man.
And then wind starts blowing, and if you have a certain upgrade where a wolf comes to your aid, it's
the world went black and white. Why is it black and white now?
That's awful. That's not fun.
Oh god, and the wolf, dude. Oh my god, is this scary wolf? Scary wolf. Is there 2 wolves sometimes, or is it always just one?
No, just one.
Just one.
I always thought there was 2 when I first saw the trailers and such. But
yeah, I don't know why I thought that too. I haven't beaten Ghost of Yotei, and it's been close to a month since I picked up sticks on that one. But it's a good game. You should play it.
It's a game that's easy to fall back into. It's not super complicated with how it plays.
Yeah,
so
pretty basic in plot too. So yeah, I imagine once I pick it back up, Actually, if memory serves, I did the exact same thing for Tsushima, where I was playing it, and I was like, "This is a good time," and I put it down and I picked it back up. And I'm sure my complaint is going to be the same thing: is the goddamn control scheme is obtuse. I'll say, from my perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you know why I can say that? Because I played the game, Connor, and I'm allowed to have the opinion that the control scheme is obtuse.
Yes, and just like how you might say it could be less obtuse by being like Dark Souls, which you have played and now realize how much better that is.
That control scheme is also obtuse as fuck.
What are you talking about? R1, R2?
I'm just doing this random kick sometimes that never has that never has combat benefits to me.
I'm talking about
it gets me in trouble more than it doesn't.
When you say it's obtuse, you're more talking about the melee hitting and such. Yes,
Connor, you watched me defeat a boss last night. That was quite a challenging boss, and it was extra challenging for me because it countered my specific build. You know,
it did.
In the final moments of that boss fight, instead of getting the killing blow, I kicked him in the back and did minimal damage to him.
Well,
now I still won because I was able to immediately follow that up with a killing blow. Not because he was stunned by the kick or anything. He just did you see there at the end? He just kind of stopped. He just kind of let me have it.
Well, he stumbled.
Oh,
you were able to break his stance for a second. That's why you were lucky. Because if you didn't break his stance, he would have definitely hit you.
But he got back into it and then just didn't attack me.
He did, but you were able to swing off before he could do any move because he was in the stutter animation. For those that may not know, he's talking about Artorias the Abyss Walker. A lot of people love that boss fight, so you can imagine the stress he was going through with the magic build.
I think
trying to deal with that thing.
That was probably the best boss fight in the game.
It is the
as to what I've seen so far, and I've got, including the other two DLC bosses that I haven't fought or I haven't beaten yet. I've got maybe 4 or 5 bosses left. Probably 4.
Well, you have beat? Okay, so you have the optional boss if you're going to do that. You have the final boss of that DLC, and then you have 2 more bosses to do in the main game. So
4.
Yeah, 4 more bosses.
Nailed it. There's not like a mini in New Londo. There's not like a mini boss in between me and the boss of that area.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Nope. I'm gonna see how you do in that boss fight.
The New Londo?
Yeah, because I've seen people either have a really hard time with it or have it be really easy.
Well,
it's always been easy for me.
Let me get these podcasts uploaded, and we can find out. You know what I mean? Or at least get them started exporting, because it takes like an hour for the Gamescast to export, especially when we go over an hour like we have, and how I've kind of been stretching it out to go this long.
Well, conversations happen. So
I think we've got some good clips. We've got some good clips. God, Connor, as soon as I'm done with school, man, as soon as I'm done, ladies and gentlemen, y'all not ready for the war path of content that I'm about to go on. Listen, man, it's not going to be like as dramatic as I want it to be, because I'm going to have to pick up more hours at work. So, I'm still going to be busy throughout the week. But the beauty of work is that I leave it at work, And the beauty of my job currently is I'm usually done latest by 10 o'clock anyway, so I still have energy for the night. You know what I mean? So I can come home, edit some videos, come back, play a game, all of that, be up till XYZ, and then I'm sticking. Connor, we've been toying around with it, but I feel like every time I go back to school, it knocks us off this thing. I'm going to go get a gym membership, bro, and we're going to the gym.
All right, yeah, I'll do that. We have a gym here.
I think I'm just going to go get a membership.
Works out too.
Because then maybe I can meet somebody.
Ah, I see.
Not romantically, just meet new people. I just want an outlet to meet new people, and the gym might be it.
That'll do it.
It might be it.
That might do it.
Who knows? Also, apartment gyms, they're always like kind of dirty, under supported,
I need to check out ours though. Maybe ours, because there are some good ones.
Yeah,
they're very good.
Sure.
Ones.
Yeah. Well, we can stick our head in, and of course, it's always like I only have time. I only have like 15 minutes. I've only got 30 minutes or whatever. But I plan on I'm gonna get up in the mornings, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. Take care of the dog, get to work, and bang, 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 and then go to actual work, and then come back and play my games and stuff. I'm so ready for that schedule. That's the schedule I'm so ready for. Ladies and gentlemen, you better be fucking ready, and you better be locked in. You want to be here on the ground floor for all of this content. I promise you, 2026, 2027, by 2030, we are going to be, I'm saying it now, we are going to be the main voice you want to tune in for on video games. We're going to be educated. We're going to be intellectual. We're going to have insight. We're going to go in deep. It's going to be fan-fucking-tastic. Well read. Listen, my goal this year was just to produce one video essay. I got 2. All right? Imagine what I can do with more time on my hands. I can schedule out my week. on the type of content I want to produce, and not just produce what I can when I can. I'm running around with like a chicken with my head cut off going, oh, I need a YouTube short. Oh, here's a breakout video. Oh, here's, let me write a script. Oh, I should stream more, XYZ. I'm going to have a schedule, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen. I've been thinking about it for like 6 months. Also, make sure you're subscribed for next week, because I'm pretty sure, unless something goes horribly wrong, I'm pretty sure we're going to have an interesting visual change going on. You know, I'm just going to give you a little tease right there. We had a comment a few weeks ago about how they're loving the moving arc of us moving and getting settled into our new apartment, which is taking a long time. Part of that is laziness. Part of that is for reasons outside of our control. And part of it is like, we're just busy, you know? So, but part of it is laziness. We could be better than we are right now, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes I just wonder how long you'll let me rant. You know what I mean?
I sat back. It's an indication I'll let you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is the Two Penny Gamescast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow for more. Drop a comment down below what you thought about this week's topics. Drop a comment if you thought we missed a topic that we should have covered on the Gamescast, and you'd like us to hear it, and we can introduce that next week as part of the Two Penny conversation. And what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm doing action noises.
None of them got picked up.
That's good. I was doing action poses. Like stabbing.
You think an action pose is you just doing this?
Well, that is an action pose. You were doing action.
Until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
He did not say no.